Ακολουθεί νομίζω μια εξίσου ενδιαφέρουσα ομιλία από τον κύριο Hillel Damelin, Head Life and Health Medi Director in Europe, Middle East and Africa της Swiss Re, ο οποίος θα μας μιλήσει για την αντασφάλιση παροχών. Κύριε Damelin, Mr. Damelin, please, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time today. We've heard a number of speeches. I'm conscious of the time, so I'll try and keep quite short. I'd like to give you a little bit of an introduction to Swiss Re. I'm sure many of you know about Swiss Re. I'm sure you've heard of us. But for some, we might be a little bit more unfamiliar. And I'd like to share with you a little bit of what we do. When I was at university, and this is about my sum total of the exposure to the Greek language, I was studying mathematics, of course, and I had a lot of Greek symbols in the maths. And I used to go home every day and ask my mother to help me read my notes because my handwriting is atrocious. My mother's a pharmacist, so she can read anything, even hieroglyphics. And she helped me with my studies, of course, but she still wonders to this day what exactly it is that I do for a living. So I'm hoping that she'll watch this afterwards and get a sense of the wonderful and interesting things that Swiss Re does around the world. I shouldn't be too long, so please stick with me, and I apologize for the accent, but I hope I'll be understandable. So first up, it's not a surprise, although the figure itself might be quite a surprise, that around 75% of the world's risks are uninsured, or the world's insurance risks, at least, are uninsured. And that's what we refer to as the protection gap. These are risks about life and health. These are risks around property and casualty, natural catastrophes, and various other things. But for the moment, and I will focus, because I'm in charge of life and health in the region, I will focus on the discussion of life and health and how that's relevant to our pension funds and relevant to our systems. Part of Swiss Re's vision, and I'll get a little bit more into various of the other things that we think about ourselves, but one of our visions is that it's our job in the world to make many of these uninsured risks become insured. Swiss Re, we see ourselves as our role in the world to make the world more resilient. What do we mean by that? We're a strong financial company, and I'll share some figures soon, but we believe that insurance is a key tool to share and to pool risks. And that's a way of making all of us stronger in the face of various changes that we may know about, or we may not know how they will impact us, whether that's climate change, that's sort of a global extreme, things that may happen to us in our house. There was a headline this morning as I was waking up reading the newspaper of a house that burnt down in the little town that I live in. Terrible circumstances. There's property damage. People are hurt. These are things that happen every day. And unfortunately, not everybody is really fully insured. In addition to making the world more resilient, which is really a grand goal, we see it as our part of that to help you, our customers, you, our clients, and society in general, to take on more risk, to absorb risk from the various different risk pools around the world and from people who are carrying these risks in a sustainable and sound financial way. A little bit about Swiss Re. So I mentioned that we talk about investing in risk pools. We look for pools, we look for places where there is risk that is uninsured, and we like to go to those sources and offer our services. We see ourselves as a risk knowledge company. It sounds quite grand, and really what we mean is we have a big building, a lot of big buildings with a lot of really good experts on a number of different kinds of insurance, from catastrophes to life and health business and all different kinds of life and health, whether we're talking about critical illness, aging solutions, cancer, some of the things that Bruce mentioned. And that's just the start of it. There are a large number of other very interesting things that we do, and people that we have experts who can really help you in your business and grow your business. Swiss Re is divided up into three main sections. Under the holding company, we have Swiss Re Reinsurance. That's us, and that's our, call it traditional bread and butter sort of business. We have Corporate Solutions, which has engagements with large companies and directly with governments, and Swiss Re Life Capital, which is a separate venture around insuring more directly to the public and smaller risks. At a glance, Swiss Re, very good and stable rating financially, some very impressive figures around premiums, total premium earned. I think the numbers are interesting, but what's most interesting is the diversification. We have a little bit everywhere. We have maybe more than a little bit in some places, and we have good sound knowledge in all of those places, and good diversification, so that when something happens in the US, we're still fine and we can cover it, and if something happens in Europe, we're good too. A little bit about reinsurance itself. How do we think it can help you? What can reinsurance do for you? So first up, I think we got lost here. Yeah, sorry, pressed the wrong button. Right, first up, start with the traditional stuff. One of the things that reinsurers like to do is to share risk. And that's obvious, and that's really just the first part of it. The second part of sharing risk, particularly in the life and health space, is around product development. We like to work with our clients very closely, whether it's with the pension funds, to design optimal pension fund benefits, structure life benefits, structure disability income benefits. We like to work with insurance companies to help design new products. Sometimes it's bells and whistles. Sometimes it's designing a marketing strategy. Sometimes we're talking about genuinely new covers. Bruce, I think in his introduction, mentioned long-term care and additional solutions that will help people stay at home for longer, not having to go into institutions. These are all important ways to make people more resilient and make the country and our financial system more resilient. In addition to the interesting things that we do around that, of course, there are a number of financial things that we can do that looks attractive on your balance sheet, that looks attractive to the CFO and attractive to shareholders. We have ways of financing future business. A number of businesses suffer capital constraints, suffer liquidity constraints. These are all things that we can help manipulate in a way that's good for the business and good for the long-term sustainability of your business. We have ways of optimizing different results, whether it's under accounting standards, economic value standards. These are all interesting things that can be done from a technical perspective. Reinsurance also, and this is really a philosophy of Swiss Re, is about partnerships. Many of the treaties that I look after today were written maybe some 70 years ago or before. I think some of you may know I'm based in Tel Aviv. That's where our hub is for this region, and some of our treaties in the country go back to before the founding of the State of Israel. That's a long history. Swiss Re itself obviously has more than 150-year history. It's all about partnerships and relationships, and we like to focus on that. And in this particular instance, we're very, very proud, of course, very happy to be working with Prudential. Again, we think relationships are important, and cooperation. Everybody brings something different to the party. In our particular case, as I said, we like to talk about risk pooling, we like to talk about expertise, but that expertise is very global. To make that relevant to the people on the street, to make that relevant to you and your customers, we need local partners who can help us really make the business work. Product development, I expanded on a little bit. Growth financing, capital optimization, and of course the partnerships, which are a key part of the entire picture. So how can we help you? What can we do about risk sharing that would be in your interests? In addition to what I've spoken about reinsurance solutions and products, we have a number of aligned services, what we call solutions, that we can offer that help you manage your business. I won't go into too many details, but we have two basic offerings, many sort of stock standard issues that we can plug and play, we can roll out with very little cost, and many others that are really made depending on your needs and the needs of your market and what really will be optimal. A number of different ideas, many interesting projects, working with substandard lives, working with lives that are currently uninsurable, whether that's because of diabetes or other concerns, working with our clients who are already insuring risks and helping them manage those risks from end to end, underwriting solutions, claims management, data, studies, all of these things that will help you manage your business. And again, without too much of a pitch, I think we're going to cut our question time a little bit short because of the time frames, but if there's anything that you'd like to speak to me about, any details that you'd like, please I'll be around for discussions later, and of course our contact details are available. And finally, with a long history, we've made many mistakes. We've learned a lot of how one can lose money quite easily. And we pride ourselves as a Swiss company on operational excellence, on doing things at the highest standards in a way that will really deliver quality and hopefully not make too many of those same mistakes we've made in the past going forward. I've mentioned some of these, and given the time constraints, we'll click through quite quickly. Okay, so lastly, I'd like to introduce you to the team, the people who are involved, the people who are here today, and who are involved in this market. As I mentioned, I'm based in Tel Aviv myself. We're really a global team. I have people in my office who work in other parts of the world, and I have people in Zurich who assist me on the local market. So Bruce, you were introduced to in our initial video. Dimitra is our pricing actuary and a medical expert. Anastasia has joined us with a lot of help in this particular day, and strategy and other important things. And myself, as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm responsible for all of the life and health business in this region, and I'd be very happy to help you with your needs. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time.